Hello family, hope you're doing good wherever you are. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be in a little live streaming where we'll be cooking and chatting. Okay, we're making a vegetable soup. Okay, and we'll be chatting as well. How are you doing wherever you are? I hope you're doing really great. The weather is really beautiful here in Hamburg. Nevertheless, we want to prepare a soup with which you can use to enjoy a lot of delicacies. In case you're watching for the first time, my name is Chinaza and the channel is Chinaza TV. There's a lot of things. A lot of things are involved in this preparation. Okay. The first is vegetable. We're going to be washing them clean, cutting them, and then doing the preparation. Hope you follow along. Okay, while we are cooking, we'll be doing a little chat. We want to look at the topic where I titled multi-identity. What do I mean by multi-identity? Multi-naming. This is an issue which some people have not taken into consideration. It has caused a lot of concerns in these present times, and it could really start from birth. For example, as a parent, you give birth, and then you give this child multi-names. Maybe as the mother, from the experience she had, she could give the child a name, and the father already has another name in mind, and the child has several names. The father calls this child by a particular name, the mother also calls this child by a lovely name. The child grows up not knowing, okay, the one to go with, even though these names are all in the birth certificate. This child may choose to apply these two names, and as time goes on, decide to go along with one. The two names must have appeared in a particular certificate. I'm talking from experience. And as the time goes on, he or she decides to go with one. Okay, this one is coming from birth, the mistake made by the parents. And a time will come when this child will be making use of this document or certificate. This is the time where the issue comes up. Doesn't really know which one to go with. Okay, and at the point of presentation, this is an issue because the child could be misidentified. Child could be misidentified, and the child may have an issue just because of this. I had an experience where I had several names, okay, in a document. At a point where I needed to use this document for an important purpose, I could not present this document. I had to go get an affidavit to stamp and cover for these documents, which costed a lot and delayed the entire process. But this is something I could have avoided in the long run by sticking to one why I decided that as we prepare this meal, we discuss this over so that young parents will not make the same mistake that will cause their children in the future. So the next time or the next event where multi-identity can come up is as a teenager. While growing up, you may just be in love with a particular, maybe an actor or an actress in the movie you're seeing. You love the way this actor or actress, displays or interprets the script. You decide to, go on following him or her in what he or her is doing. You love the person, you love the character. You may not even know the actual life of this individual, just the character is what you love, and you decide to include this name in your own name, maybe as a second name or what people call pet name or whatever. And as time goes on, you include this in your documents, not really knowing the cost of this in the future. Okay? Excuse me. I have to do away with this. Or another situation is maybe the one we get from reading a book, which I was also kind of victim. I read a book, a novel, not even knowing that this novel, some of them could be fictions. They are not real. These are people's imagination that they put together to create an event or a scene. You read a book, you love the character in the book, the way it was interpreted. You choose to, go by this name. You love the way it was actually displayed and everything. You include these names in your certificate, and you go along with it. Sometimes the onset of your life, this name was not in a certificate, just started at a particular phase of your life, and not knowing that there are times when these two documents will be brought together and there will be a kind of multi-identity. You cannot be rightly identified. Okay, this is an issue for you when this time comes up. Why do I say this? In the case of parents naming their children, okay, they do this because maybe they love these names or they want this name to be part of the children. Sometimes when the mother gives birth, she names the child from the circumstances surrounding the birth. Maybe there have been other plans on the name for this child, but as the mother gives birth, she gives the child a name from circumstances surrounding the birth, but we are not aware. We go on with other names adding to our names, and this is a problem for us in the future. For example, you're going to be applying for a job, or maybe for example, in my case, I was applying to travel, and I could not produce this important document because of the name I have added, which is not real, which could not be identified in my major certificate. Okay? Because there are no certificates that will really identify you. For example, your birth certificate, the names we are given at birth comes there. Your primary or your elementary certificates, these are important documents. Okay? When the names you have in your certificates, other certificates, your school or graduation documents do not comply or correspond with the names given to you at birth that appear in your birth certificate or your immunization cards, is an issue for you. Why do we make these mistakes? We think that it doesn't matter, or there's not going to be a time in life when I'll be bringing these documents together. We do not consider the future. We look just with the environment where we find ourselves. We do not consider that in the future we could be opportune to travel out. The cultures in the country you're going to be visiting may not apply to the culture where we find ourselves, and do not take some things seriously or into consideration. Then when it's time to present documents to leave the country or the environment where you find yourself, some little mistakes that you've made in the past that do not matter begin to matter. This is an issue for you, so you must begin to put into consideration as a young parent be careful that the children go with the names with which they were given at birth, and these names are in correspondence in all the documents that they produce, that they do not at any point be swayed or carried away by the movies where they've watched, the characters involved, the books they've read, okay, and they include these funny names, and when it's time for them to do some important things in their lives, they cannot be able to use these documents. I've mentioned, for example, applying maybe to travel out. The second thing is applying for a job. For example, you want to apply for a job and you were asked to produce your elementary certificate, your birth certificate, and for example, your university certificate. If the name in your birth certificate is not in correspondence with the name in your university certificate, you cannot be rightly identified. You may lose this job. It takes a lot of effort getting an affidavit to cover or to back up that so person is the same so person, okay? And there are people with more clear documents, more merits, do not have issues that will put into consideration first before you, no matter your qualification, no matter how perfect or how good you are for this job. These people are standing at a better position than you yourself because you have made little mistakes that do not matter. Another point to this is carelessness. Situation whereby you have not more identified yourself, but you have chosen to be careless over your documents. Okay, sometimes we graduate from schools and we do not think it is necessary to go and get a document from those institutions until when it's time for you to use this document, you search around and find out that you do not have these documents with you. You begin to go back to the institution. Maybe the institution is no longer in existence. Maybe they are in existence, but the place where they store these documents has been, damaged by water or fire outbreak, or documents are no longer in good how do I put it, in good situations or conditions. They have been damaged by insects or and all the rest. Okay, but when we take examinations, we should follow up to get the documents and reserve them properly. We'll still come to the point of reservation, how to reserve these documents. Okay, there are a lot of better ways in these times to reserve documents than the way they were done before. Do not think that these documents are not necessary because you don't know what's coming up tomorrow. You don't know when they will be needed. All right, okay. So get the documents as far as you went to this went through this school, you got this you went through this examination, you start for examination, get the certificate and store them. Now, how are the ways to store? Normally people store documents in their houses in files, some people go ahead to laminate, but now you can store them in folders. Okay, store them in forms, folders. This way they'll be safer. Whichever year, whichever century, whichever time you need these documents. You can even be in an office and then you are required to produce this. You may not have the copy, but you have the e-copy. Just print them out, and maybe you have them. It's better than not even having them. Maybe you have the copies in the papers. You cannot reach anyone to give it to you, but if they are you are even more opportune to produce them at any point in your life. Okay, so there are better opportunities. And sometimes when we also get these documents from schools, we think that they are not necessary. We just keep them carelessly. Maybe as the climate changes happen, they are damaged. Okay, by rain or by whatever condition that happen, and you are not longer in possession of these documents. You will be asked to produce them. You do not have them. They are going to cost you important opportunities in your life. You have to go and receipt. I have seen elderly people receipting for some examination just to acquire documents that they had acquired formally but lost them due to a kind of carelessness. It is also important that you reserve them carefully. Sometimes too, you may be locating from the environment where you are. These are all the advantages of having these documents in paper. When you're relocating, you may forget or do away with some of these documents unknowingly, but if they are in e-copies stored in files, there is no how you will be moving out because they are all in your phone. Even if you change a device, there's a way to copy all of those things in your cloud back to your phone, the new device that you have. It's possible. Okay, so there are these storing them in e-forms doesn't have many or major disadvantages. They are all always better. All right? Okay? Another part of carelessness is a situation where people are in organizations and opportunities are made available for anyone who is interested, and they look at themselves and they think that the position where they find themselves now, they do not require these opportunities. As far as they are here, they are doing well for themselves at the moment. Okay, it's not required. It could be a kind of improving your skills, maybe a language skill. If the opportunity comes for language skills in the region where you find yourself, it could be a course to improve your area of specialization. It could be as simple as learning how to carry out a particular skill that is outside your field. I would advise that you do not take these things for granted, because you do not know what's going to happen in the nearest future where you will no longer need them in that situation. But what you have done will be a way of encouraging you to move on after you must have lost this opportunity. Yeah, we have some people joining us. We're grateful. Thank you for joining us in this live chat. Okay, now we finished cutting some of the vegetables. We still have more to add. Okay, like I was saying, do not neglect any opportunity that comes to you wherever you find yourself. It could be in an organization. Opportunities are given. Make best use of these opportunities. Learn what is needed. Use them to your own advantage. There's a purpose which the opportunity is coming. It could be so beneficial to you in the nearest future. All right? So do not look at it and say, I don't need it. It's not important to me. What am I going to be doing with this? Learn them and still store or preserve the documents, like we said. Very essential. You can store them in the e-formats, in the e-forms, so they can be accessible to you at any time and at any place. All right? And if, for example, the opportunity made available to you is to learn a new language, you do not have to take this with levity, because languages have caused people many opportunities in life, which I can also share an experience with you. Learning a new language is important. I was in school when we were opportune to learn a new language, French. Even though I didn't play with it, I followed along. I learned this new language. For a time when it was to sit for it in school, I thought maybe I'm not going to be doing this language. What will I be doing with it? Am I not in this country? Am I ever going to go to the country where they speak this language? What am I going to do with it? And I didn't sit for the examination. I dictated this examination. Lo and behold, time to upgrade my documents here. Germany came, and what they were asking for is this same language that I neglected. Okay, I remember immediately when I misused this opportunity, which would have been of so much help to me now. And one of the students that made better use of this opportunity is now in a country where they speak this language. She is a professor, she's teaching this language, and she's making ends meet with this language. What am I saying in essence? A lot of opportunities come our way as individuals, we take them for granted. We think that where we are for now, we do not need them, and therefore in the future we will not be making use of these opportunities. These are all misconceptions. These are all misconceptions. You must use every opportunity that you have in life to your own advantage. Use them to your advantage and make proper use of them. Okay, so a time will not come when you regret or begin to go back to these opportunities that you'd have made proper use of earlier on. Okay, the next thing that could lead to some of these things is neglecting ourselves. When we neglect ourselves, we think we are not good at anything. I have not learned the little language or the local language where I find myself, so how am I going to be able to learn this one? Even if I should learn it, what am I going to do with it? This is self-neglect. You've suggested to yourself that you cannot do better in learning a new language, no matter how important it's going to be to you in the future. You have said to yourself that you cannot do this, and when you say this, there's no how you're going to do it, because you must find value in yourself first. You must love yourself, believe in yourself, and you can be able to do anything that you set your mind to. But once you begin to say that I'm not good at learning languages, I'm not good at learning new things, the little one I have is enough, what am I going to be doing with this? You don't know what is coming up tomorrow. The job, even in your local environment, you are going to be seeking for, you're going to be applying for, or opportunity may even come up that just that language alone will be the only qualification. Okay, and by then it is late for you to go and learn this language. And my advice goes to younger people in school, or people that are aspiring to go to school. If you are still in school and you're opportune to learn a new language, do so with all seriousness. Okay, learn this language, keep the documents, do not be careless about them. Time will come when they will be very helpful to you. And if it is not in the aspect of language, you can just learn a new skill. Learn a skill before or even while you were studying. Talking to students now, this is necessary. It's necessary. It's going to be helpful to you. You can use it to, keep yourself busy while you are still in school, when you're still studying, and even when you are through, and things do not go the way you planned it according to what you studied, you can still be using this skill to make ends meet. You can still be using this skill, to keep yourself busy and still make something out of it. And to that, why study a course that after you are out from that environment will not be beneficial to you as an individual? A lot of people have gone into school not knowing what they want, or being deceived or carried away by what their friends are doing. You want to join your friends, you want to always be with him or her, you want to be in the same apartment, you want to, stick together all the time, not knowing that everyone has their own, their own calling, their own desires, their own abilities. Look out for what you are good in. That is number one. If it's in the aspect of study, subjects, which one are you good at? Okay, go with that, so that when you go into this course, at the long run, you do not feel frustrated, because they were not really your aspect. They were not really what you could do. You went in because of someone you knew was there, someone you really fancy, you know, or you heard that this is the course that everybody is involved in, everybody is doing this is really nice, and you come out, you are not useful to yourself, let alone to the people around you. This course cannot even offer you anything. These are the things or the situations where we want to avoid. Okay, this is why we're bringing up this topic. Choose subjects or courses that you can be able to carry out. Even when things go wrong at the long run, you're not frustrated, you don't feel like giving up. A lot of people have gone into studies, and in the second or third year they feel they cannot longer continue. What they expected is not what they are seeing. You want to come out, they no longer happy with where things are going. Things have gone beyond what they expected. So this is why you must choose what you love, what you find pleasure in doing, what you can do no matter what comes up, no matter the conditions. You can still be grateful in doing them, no matter how tough they are. You can still be grateful in doing these things. And in choosing this thing, still look out for what you can practice yourself when you come out. Okay, there are a lot of professional subjects or courses. You're not neglecting them, but looking around the environment where you find yourself, looking at people that have studied these professional courses, how are they doing? How are they faring with this course? Are they really doing well with it? Is it worth spending the whole time, the whole stress, the whole effort? Or are there things that people, neglect that will make us meet than this? A lot of times for example, when we are in school, people were studying taxation. Some people are studying nutrition, biochemistry. We thought that maybe they were not doing what they're supposed to do. How can someone come to this? And some people are studying fishery, agricultural economists. We are thinking, how can you come all the way from your house to this place and then you're running around rearing fish? What is that? And at the time when they graduated, they didn't even go about looking for whatever, just started their own pond, the little way they could, and today they're making things happen for themselves and people around them. And people that have professional courses, I don't want to mention any, you know what I'm talking about, they're still going about looking for, for opportunities where they can fit in just to make ends meet. Hello, can some people join us? Hello, welcome to the platform. I hope you're enjoying what we're doing and you're following along. Okay, once we are through with the vegetable preparation, then we'll go into the main meal. So what are we talking about? Start from choosing subject that you are good at. Then look out for courses that you love, that are not majorly professionally based, but that someone can come out after these whole years and practice with these courses, these professions. This is what we are discussing. Do not go into this because you love the course. It is what is running. Your friends are doing the same course. Everyone doing this is recognized as being serious. And at the end of the day, things get tough. They continue. You cannot. Everybody has their grace. Everybody has maybe what it takes to continue this course. You do not have maybe the finances and all that, the energy and all the rest of the things that are involved. You do not have, and then you become a dropout. You cannot longer continue after the whole effort, and then the little money that you have used to do something better, you waste it in this whole process. You come out becoming a laughing stock to yourself. You feel frustrated in life. Okay, these are things that you want to avoid. And how do you do this? Start from the onset. Choose what you love, what you can carry on, and what you can easily practice for yourself and by yourself when you leave that environment. I'm talking about this Western world, there are a lot of opportunities. You know, once you are able to complete a course here, you are sure of doing something better with it. But there's an environment that you need to do or study what you can practice for yourself, at least at the onset, before you begin to look around for people who will hire you and all that. We've looked at a lot of things. Looked at multi-naming, how people come up with a lot of names. Maybe adverts, or they read from magazines or novels, and they forget that these are fictions. Okay, we've also looked at how people are careless in storing or reserving their documents, the certificates, the important documents in their lives. And now we're looking at schooling, how people go into school not knowing what they want, what they are good at, and then at the long run they are frustrated, they want to give up, they are no longer happy with life. Okay, we are through with vegetable preparation. You can see what we have here. Okay, let me show you guys. You have all of the vegetables. Now, I hope you can see the vegetables from here. I'm going to start the meal preparation proper. Let's start. Let's start the preparation in proper, okay? First of all, fill up the chicken into making the soup with vegetables. Please, this soup you can be used to enjoy, you know, like use the soup with rice. If you have a kind of yam or any other sort of carbohydrate, you can also eat or enjoy this soup alone while it is warm. Most times when the weather is cold, this is when this soup is really nice. And in winter seasons, depending on the country where you find yourself, maybe when the weather is warm, you cannot enjoy it, but it's mostly helpful. And as you can see, there are no artificial ingredients, they are all vegetables, which means they are healthy and nutritious, okay? Excuse me. Now we are into the meal preparation. Itself. Yeah, I hope you can see it from here. Adding a little of salt. I hope you can see what we are doing. You're not going to be using this for this. How to cut and store it for later peppers. It's just simple. You just, you know, once the chicken has come to a boil, you add these vegetables, and that is it. It's not really complicated. Most times it's better to have it half done, not really, you know, cooking them till they are soft. Just bring them to simmer and then that is it. Bring them to a simmer and that is it. We're preparing the onions. Just let the chicken simmer a little before we add water. Adding little seasoning. Okay. We should be adding little seasoning. I'm going to stir to ensure that if you have some people join us too, you're welcome to this live stream where we cook and chat. Okay, welcome. Hey guys, let's continue with our discussion. Moment. We left out the paprika, which is going to be adding a natural color to our delicacy. Okay, Add the better coloring to our delicacy. Depending on the color which you want. You can choose to add any of your choice. I'm not really going to be adding much. Alright? Okay, like we are saying, you know, sometimes when you have this discussion with people and they ask, now that you've told us a lot of consequences or mistakes that maybe we've made, are there remedies or are there, you know, things that we can do to help or to correct this in case we've made? Okay, I'll say to you from experience, if, for example, in your environment, you made a mistake of multi-naming or multi-identity according to what we discussed earlier on, okay, you should know how to go about it. I suggest you get an affidavit. Okay, these are applicable in documents that will be used in pursuit of education, documents that will be used, you know, in job applications. You could get an affidavit, go to a nearby court in your vicinity. If you're joining us if you're just joining us, welcome. I can't really get to see everyone. Okay. I really want to scroll down and then see people that are joining, but I cannot really see everyone. But if you're joining this stream where we are chatting and preparing something, you're welcome. We've discussed on multi-identity, where people make some mistakes of giving themselves, or parents give their children a lot of names at birth. These children can also decide to add these names to themselves as or to their documents as they are growing up from movies they watch. They love the characters in the movie. They love how this character interpreted the movie which they've watched. They are so excited about this. They don't even know the life, character or experience of this person. They just love the way the person interpreted this character and they include it in their documents. These are not their real names. They are not names that are in their basic documents like birth certificate, categorization, and all that, documents of identity. And they include these names, and the long runs is an issue. Or from reading novels or magazines, you see people that are doing well, celebrities. You do not even take some time out to think that some of these books or novels you're reading, they are fictions. People just sat down and imagine these things, and they are not real. Okay, they're just there to entertain you, and you add these names to your document that you just have at a particular stage. Maybe at your this stage in life where people think that they can do anything. Adolescence is the name I was looking for. Okay, and then as time comes when you need this document, is an issue for you. You are going to be multi-identified because the basic document that you have, like your birth certificate, your elementary documents, are not bearing these names. But the ones you have at the age where you can be accountable for yourself have this name. You just love the name. Do not know that. Don't even know their meanings. Just added them. Okay, maybe Sarafina, what kind of names that people get from funny movies and all of these things, flying baby, beautiful queen and all that, and they're not even meaningful. You add them. If you're at the point where you want to correct these mistakes, you could get an affidavit, go to a nearby court. It's not really cost much according to my own environment. Explain your case to them, let them know the mistakes that you've made, and let them know where you want to be using this document. You'll be swearing an affidavit in that court. I think it should be a customary court, okay? And they will be using this affidavit to back up this document, testifying that you are the same person in the original document that you have that do not bear these names. You could use them for school applications or job applications, okay? But in cases of applying to travelers to other countries, it depends on how the country runs, how they operate and what they want. Some countries may have alternatives. They may have substitutions, all right? Some countries may have substitutions. So ask if there are other documents that you could submit that will cover up or that will replace the one that you will not have, because maybe what you have is not really going to stand or will make the whole thing complicated. I've had this experience that I'm talking to you, okay? You ask if there are substitutions which you could use to replace, or if you could even totally withdraw or remove these documents so that you can be on the safer side, all right? So these are remedies for some of these mistakes. And the mistake of not acquiring a skill or not choosing, let's start with not acquiring a skill before going into education. If you've made this mistake, what you should do is to start from the point where you realize this mistake. It's never late until you decide that it's late. Okay? You're not a failure until you begin to see yourself or call yourself one. So make changes from the point where you discovered these mistakes. Alright? Learn new skills at that point. Sometimes it could be just that in your place, in your field of civilization, you are becoming outdated. You're no longer have value. Okay? The way you learn to do this is no longer the way it is done. What do? Apply for improvement courses. Their courses could be online, could be on site. Apply for courses to improve yourself so you can still be relevant, okay, in your field, so that people do not replace you, you're no longer outdated. And if you think your course or your field is no longer necessary at all, what do? Look for another field, and still in your own field at the evening times, go and study these things so that you can still be relevant. You're going to be relevant now. The importance of how to solve some problems which we have discussed earlier on. Okay, make yourself relevant, improve yourself, learn new languages, okay, store your documents safely. You said this. Do not be careless with your documents. They could be of importance to you in the future. Store them properly. And when you've done this, take out some time, okay, to look around you, to improve yourself if you think you're being outdated, so you can still be relevant. Right? Sometimes what we've studied or how we've studied what we've studied is no longer the way it is being done in the now. You could be outdated. All right. So sometimes, for example, you're even traveling, and what you studied before traveling is not going to be applicable in that country you're traveling to. What do? You take out some time while you're preparing for your documents, still improve yourself, learn new skills, and when you come, you can be relevant. Maybe in your country, for example, you were a pump attendant. The country where you're coming to doesn't have pump attendants. People buy fuel and they go in and make the payments. So when you come with this skill, you're going to be addicted or this job opportunity. no one is going to hire you, because when you're coming to, they don't need field attendant or pub attendant. So what do? You learn new thing, research on where you're coming to, what they need, how they operate, the system of operation. Learn what you're going to use to be relevant to yourself and society where you're coming to. Do not just pack your things. You're traveling, you pack your things. People and sometimes you don't even know why we are traveling. Just hear that this person is there, is doing well. You don't know what the person is doing and how the person is doing what he's doing. Just gather your things and then you move into that place and start suffering. Maybe you've sold all you had, use some for collateral, makes a lot of promises to people that when you're coming back in a grand style, and you start suffering because you don't even make inquiries. You don't know why you're going there. You just heard that somebody's there, somebody's doing well. You don't even know what the person is doing actually, if you can even do what the person is doing there. So these are reasons why you must take out some time, plan yourself, so that in the course of time you are still relevant if you have a skill and you are still making ends meet for yourself. If you have something that's not putting food at your table, maybe this used to be useful to you, now it's no longer, then it's of no use to you. Okay, you must know what you want and how to get what you want by making possible and strategic plans step by step. Write these things down, know how to follow them, and if there are mistakes that you've made that we've discussed, I've also said how to go about correcting some of these mistakes. Okay, let's see what we are doing. Going to be setting some aside for grilling later. Okay. This is okay and enough. Okay. Okay. It is time to add the vegetables. Like I said, it doesn't take time, just to put these things together, and before you know it, the soup is ready. Start with the vegetables that may not soften quickly. Then you allow them simmer for a while. I hope you can see me. Okay, while that is doing, let's clean up some of the dishes that we used. Okay, welcome for joining us now. You're welcome. We are preparing soup and we're also discussing. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the platform. I hope to this point you've learned something. And if there are some errors that you made according to what we discussed, identity, carelessness, you know, carelessness in terms of career, you know, acquisitions, carelessness in terms of storing documents. We've also learned how to go about correcting some of these carelessness, like we've discussed. Let's check what we are doing. Hope it's going on well. I don't want to overcook this, so I'm going to be going in with, you see what I'm doing? I'm going to be going in with the carrots. It is called vegetable soup. You can use any sort of protein. You can use beef, you can use, you know, whatever, you can use chicken, whatever sort of protein you consume, you can use. But today we are just using chicken as a source of protein. You prepare, just cut the vegetables while you bring the chicken or the sort of protein you have to a simmer. You add the vegetables gradually, bring them to a boil, and that is it. Not overcook them because they are meant to remain fresh. And after preparation, you are meant to consume this within 1 to 2 days. Just store them in the fridge and then consume them, so I can get the nutrients while they are still fresh. Okay, you can eat them, like I said, with rice, yam, whatever that pleases you, or you can also enjoy them just the way they are. You can also enjoy the soup alone. That's what I meant. You can also enjoy the soup alone. And if you are in a region where the weather is cold, you are going to really love the soup, because it will kind of keep you warm. It will kind of keep you warm when you take them in cold seasons. Clean the fish that we used. Next thing I have to say is that you do not have to overspice this. What do I mean by overspicing this? You just don't want to overspice. You want it to be natural. You want the taste to be as natural as possible, so not going with a lot of spices, adding the curry, the cumin, the rosemary, and all that. They already have their own spice vegetables, which you're going to be using to prepare them. Already have their own aroma, natural aroma, which you want to maintain. It's one of the reasons why you don't want to overspice this. Okay, don't want to overspice this. I need to overspice these. Cleaning. It's good to, when you to cultivate this habit of preparation, preparing meals and then cleaning the environment where you prepare the meal. At the same time, it saves you the stress of coming back to do this separately. You know what I mean? If you can, while you're preparing meals, take our time to clean the environment so that things do not go messy at the end of it. You look at the environment, you are like, oh, how do I start? Where do I start from? Just see how nice looking. Okay, see how nice. Now I'm going to go in with the paprika. I have the yellow and the red. Not add the green because there are a lot of green vegetables already involved in this meal preparation. So you don't want to, go in with the overspice and use the green. Can you see me? I'll be using the green for something else. Let's store in these are what came with the vegetable. Let's store them in the fridge for later use. Once this comes to a simmer, we add the vegetable left and everything is done. Up to this point, I hope you had fun because I did. Hope you learned something that will be useful to you or even to your friends, your children, your colleagues. Just share this knowledge with them in case they made the mistake. Discuss how to correct these mistakes, how to go about avoiding them if you can, and how to make yourself better even as you grow. Okay, these are tips that we've shared together today. Do not forget, guys, I want to show you this is outside the environment. Okay, see the weather is sunny, it's good but not too warm. All right, but let me show you how our soup is coming out. So nice. All right, I hope you can see it. Okay, it's going to be so nutritious. All right, this is what you want. Want the vegetables not overcooking or overboiling, whichever way you can put it. You want everything fresh. Why the okay? You can do a little bit of dancing while you're preparing. All right, now let's go in with the last ingredient for this meal. The last ingredient is, oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Is the vegetable itself. All right. I'll make a test to see. Okay. It's nice. And for me, I do not think that it's necessary to add pepper or anything hot to this, because you're going to be taking them warm and natural. You don't want the taste to be so complicated. Okay, just going in with a little out. Right, stirring, and that will be it. Okay. I'm going to show you guys what it actually looks like and how beautiful Okay guys, this is the soup dished out. You can see how it is. It's very nice, and then you serve with whatever you have, with rice, yam, and anything you have which you want to enjoy with. You can also have it alone, like I said, while it is warm. All right. Okay. Life. You enjoyed it, and before we go to make an announcement, we'll be making a kind of vlogs. We'll be adding vlogs to our channel, vlogs of our daily lives, what we do on maybe in a day, on daily basis. Okay, just to spice up the whole thing, carry you along when we go for shopping, for trolling, for outings and all that. Okay, this is an announcement that we'll have. I hope you love it, and I hope to see you in our next streaming, in our next video, in our next vlog, whichever one that we have. We'll be bringing it to the channel just to spice things up and make things more lively. Till my next streaming or vlog or video, I'll see you then. Bye.